A professional bounty hunter with over 6,000 captures in his 27-year career. He also stars in the new A&E series Dog the Bounty Hunter. Please welcome Duane "Dog" Chapman.
Duane "Dog" Chapman's life has never been ordinary. Long before he became the face of Dog the Bounty Hunter, he lived a story full of danger, heartbreak, and redemption. Born in Denver, Colorado, Dog grew up in a strict and often painful household. His father, a Navy welder turned bail bondsman, had a violent temper and believed discipline came through punishment. His mother, a Sunday school teacher, tried to teach him faith and kindness, but the home was far from peaceful. Dog often spoke about how his father's beatings shaped him, saying that the pain made him tough but left deep emotional scars. At 16, he ran away from home and joined a motorcycle gang called the Devil's Disciples. Within the gang, Dog earned his now famous nickname after defending his faith in a fight. Someone joked that Dog was God spelled backward, and he embraced it. His early years were chaotic, filled with rebellion, bad choices, and trouble with the law. Yet even then, he carried a spark of courage and loyalty that would later define him. These difficult beginnings created the foundation for a man who would, one day, capture thousands of fugitives and become one of America's most recognizable faces. Dog's young adulthood was full of mistakes that nearly destroyed his future. In the early 1970s, he met his first wife, LaFonda Sue Darnell, and had 2 children. But life spiraled out of control when he got involved with the wrong people. In 1976, during a drug deal gone bad, a man named Jerry Oliver was shot and killed. Dog was outside in the car and didn't commit the murder, but under Texas law, he was still found guilty for not stopping or reporting the crime. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison and served 18 months. That time behind bars changed him completely. While in prison, Dog worked as a barber and began thinking deeply about his choices. One day, an inmate tried to escape, and the guards were about to shoot. Dog stepped in and stopped the escape peacefully, saving the man's life. That brave act impressed a guard, who told him he'd make a great bounty hunter one day. Those words stuck with him. When Dog was finally released, he was broke, divorced, and in debt. But he had found a new purpose. He decided to chase criminals, not be one. That decision transformed his life forever, and marked the start of his journey as America's most famous bounty hunter. Dog's personal life after prison was just as wild as his career. He married several times and had many children, but his relationships were often full of chaos. His second wife, Ann Tegnell, was only 17 when they met, and though they married quickly, the relationship was troubled. They had 3 children, but one died soon after birth, and Dog eventually lost custody of the others. His third marriage to Lisa Ray Britton also ended badly, and by the 1980s, his life was once again unstable. Despite all this, he never gave up on his dream of becoming a successful bounty hunter. By the late 1980s, Dog was working in Colorado and Hawaii, catching fugitives and building a reputation for being fearless. His tough personality, long blonde hair, and biker-style clothes made him stand out. People either loved him or feared him, but everyone remembered him. During this time, Dog also met Beth Smith, a strong, beautiful woman who would eventually become his true partner in every sense. When they first met, Beth was in legal trouble, and Dog helped bail her out. She later said that from that day on, she knew he was the man for her. Their story would become one of love, loyalty, and tragedy, setting the stage for Dog's rise to television fame. By the early 2000s, Dog's skills as a bounty hunter caught national attention. His big break came in 2003 when he tracked down Andrew Luster, a millionaire fugitive wanted for serious crimes. The capture made headlines, but it also landed Dog in trouble because bounty hunting was illegal in Mexico, where the arrest happened. Despite the controversy, the story caught the attention of producers at A&E, who saw a star in Dog and his fiery wife, Beth. In 2004, Dog the Bounty Hunter premiered on A&E, and it quickly became one of the most popular reality shows of its time. Viewers loved watching Dog's wild chases, his emotional speeches, and his deep belief in second chances. Every episode showed a man who was tough on the outside but soft-hearted inside. Beth was just as fierce, often chasing fugitives in high heels, which became her trademark. Together they became icons of reality television. The show didn't just entertain people, it gave a glimpse into redemption, forgiveness, and faith. For nearly a decade, Dog the Bounty Hunter dominated ratings and made the Chapman family household names. But fame also brought problems. Behind the sunglasses and the action, real-life challenges were waiting to strike. In 2007, Dog's career hit its darkest moment when a private phone call between him and his son was leaked to the press. In it, Dog used a racial slur while expressing concern about his son's relationship. The backlash was immediate. A&E suspended the show, fans were divided, and Dog faced severe criticism. He apologized publicly, saying he was deeply sorry and that he would never use such words again. After some time, the network brought the show back, but the damage had been done. Although viewers forgave him, Dog's image was forever changed. Around the same time, Dog faced more personal challenges. The pressures of fame, family drama, and constant controversy took a toll on him and Beth. Yet, the couple stayed strong, continuing to film new shows like Dog and Beth on the Hunt. They used their platform to help other bail bondsmen and families struggling in the justice system. Even with the setbacks, Dog refused to quit. But soon, tragedy would strike in a way that fame and toughness couldn't protect him from. What came next would test his strength like never before. In 2017, Dog's world changed forever when Beth was diagnosed with throat cancer. Fans watched as she faced the illness with unmatched bravery, refusing to let it define her. After surgery, it seemed like she had beaten it. She was declared cancer-free later that year. But just months later, the cancer returned, spreading to her lungs. Beth faced it head-on, often saying, "It's not the end. It's just another test." Dog stood by her side through every painful moment, but he was devastated inside. On June 26, 2019, Beth passed away. Dog announced the heartbreaking news on Twitter, writing that she had gone to heaven. Losing her shattered him. He later shared that Beth didn't want to look at him in her final moments, because she knew he was breaking down. After her death, Dog struggled with deep depression. He admitted to Dr. Oz that he cried non-stop and even thought about ending his life. Financial troubles added more pain, as Beth's medical bills left him nearly broke. It was the lowest point of his life. The man who once chased fugitives across the country was now fighting to find a reason to live. Not long after Beth's death, Dog began having chest pains and breathing problems. At first, he thought it was just grief, but doctors found something serious. A blood clot in his lungs, known as a pulmonary embolism. He was lucky to be alive. This health scare became another wake-up call. Encouraged by Dr. Oz, Dog finally quit smoking and started focusing on his health. Still, the emotional wounds remained. Then came more controversy. Just 7 months after Beth's passing, rumors spread that Dog was dating a family friend, Moon Angel. The public backlash was fierce, and even his daughter criticized the relationship online. Dog later proposed to Moon on TV, but it was more of an emotional outburst than a real proposal. Eventually, they went separate ways. Later, Dog met Francie Frayne, a widow who had also lost her spouse to cancer. They bonded over grief and faith, helping each other heal. In 2021, they married in a small ceremony surrounded by family and friends. Dog said Beth would have wanted him to be happy, though not everyone agreed. Still, he moved forward, determined to find peace after years of chaos and loss. Even in his later years, Dog the Bounty Hunter remains a man of drama, faith, and controversy. He returned to television with new shows like Dogs Most Wanted and Dog Unleashed, but legal troubles followed him again. In 2021, he was sued for allegedly using racist and homophobic language on set and illegally using a taser, which his team denied. Financial struggles continued too, as reports claimed he owed over $1 million in taxes. To help pay his debts, he sold his Colorado mansion for nearly double what he bought it for years earlier. Despite these troubles, Dog hasn't given up on life or faith. He's now focused on Christianity, calling himself a Christian outlaw. He says his new mission isn't just to catch fugitives, it's to save souls. He even wrote a book called 9 Lives and Counting, describing how faith pulled him back from the edge. Recently, he's also faced backlash for his strong opinions, including controversial remarks about public figures. Still, his story remains one of survival and transformation. From a broken boy in Denver to a global icon, Dog Chapman's life proves that no matter how many times you fall, you can always rise again. His bounty hunting days may be slowing down, but his spirit of redemption burns brighter than ever. After Beth's passing, Dog's life felt like a storm that wouldn't end. Every morning he woke up expecting to see her beside him, and every time she wasn't there, the emptiness hit him like a punch. The house felt too quiet. Her voice, her laughter, her sharp humor, all gone. Fans often saw Dog as a strong, unbreakable man. But after Beth's death, he became vulnerable for the first time in decades. He admitted in interviews that he stopped eating, barely slept, and felt like he had lost not just his wife, but his identity. Beth had been his anchor, his partner in business, and the one person who could calm his temper. Without her, he felt lost. His children tried to help, but grief affected everyone differently. Some of his kids distanced themselves, unable to handle the pressure of public life mixed with private pain. Dog said in one interview, "I felt like half of me went to heaven with her." In that lonely period, Dog turned to faith more than ever before. He began reading the Bible daily, and often quoted verses on social media to remind his fans that pain doesn't mean the end. He also started visiting churches and attending charity events, telling others that faith was the only thing that kept him alive. Still, even as he spoke about healing, inside he was still bleeding. The world saw a man trying to be strong, but behind closed doors he was just trying to survive one day at a time. The pain of losing Beth would never fully leave him. It simply became a part of him, shaping his journey toward faith and peace. Family has always been a central theme in Dog's life, both his greatest strength and his deepest wound. After Beth's passing, his relationship with some of his children began to break down. The most public conflict came with his daughter, Bonnie Chapman, who accused her father of being unfaithful to Beth's memory and of holding prejudiced beliefs. Dog denied the accusations, saying that his daughter had been misled by people who wanted to ruin his reputation. The situation became painful for fans to watch, as the once close-knit Chapman family appeared divided. Some of Dog's other children stood by him, while others remained distant. Dog later revealed that fame had taken a serious toll on his family. Years of cameras following them, fans chasing autographs, and producers pushing drama had made private healing impossible. He said, "People think they know our family because they saw us on TV, but what they saw was only half of it. The rest was pain and pressure." Despite all the disagreements, Dog still expressed love for all his children. He said he prays every day for their unity and believes that time and forgiveness will bring them back together. What stands out most is Dog's honesty about his mistakes. He has admitted that he was not always a perfect father, that his work often came first, and his temper sometimes got the better of him. But he insists that his heart has always been in the right place. Even now, in his 70s, he continues trying to mend those relationships. He often says, "Family is the hardest bounty to catch, but it's the one worth chasing." When Dog met Francie Frayne, he was still deep in grief. Francie had also lost her husband, Bob, to cancer around the same time Beth passed away. Their first connection wasn't romantic, it was emotional. They understood each other's pain in a way few others could. Francie later said that Dog called her one day by accident, looking for her late husband about some yard work, and that single phone call changed both their lives. They began talking often, sharing stories about love, loss, and faith. Slowly, a new bond formed, one built not on replacing Beth, but on mutual healing. Many fans were skeptical at first, thinking Dog moved on too quickly. Even some of his family members disagreed with the relationship, but Dog defended it passionately. He explained that he wasn't betraying Beth. Instead, he was honoring her by continuing to live. "Beth would have wanted me to be happy," he said. "She told me once, if something happens to me, don't sit there and cry forever." Francie became a steady source of peace in Dog's life. Unlike the fiery and loud energy of his relationship with Beth, Francie's love was quieter, built on calm faith and emotional support. Together, they began attending church regularly and speaking about God's power to restore broken hearts. Their marriage in 2021 symbolized a new beginning for Dog, one not defined by fame or controversy, but by grace and gratitude. In many ways, Francie helped Dog rediscover himself, not as a TV star, but as a man who had survived everything life could throw at him. Dog's health problems continued to follow him as he got older. Years of chasing fugitives, smoking, stress, and lack of rest had taken a heavy toll. After the 2019 heart and lung scare, doctors warned him to slow down or risk not surviving the next one. At first, Dog ignored their advice. He still felt like the same strong, unbreakable bounty hunter who could run across deserts and jump fences. But his body began telling him otherwise. Chest pain, shortness of breath, and fatigue became constant reminders that time